Welcome in a universe community. Whenever I think of uploading a video on this channel, it is only when my own mind questions something or I have arrived at some answers to queries that I had in mind. So here we are once again. My question today is, and the topic of this video is, we all believe in self-knowledge, but can self-knowledge come from somebody else? Self-knowledge means knowledge about yourself. That means you should know yourself really well. Your likes, your dislikes, what brings peace, who you like, who you should keep at bay. Lot of things about you, the authentic you, knowing yourself. Now, can this self-knowledge come from somebody else? Let us see. I'm more into film music, and one day my daughter came up to me and she played a few indie songs, different compositions of different singers, and after listening to stalwarts like Madan Mohan ji and Salil Chaudhary ji, R.D. Burman ji, it was like simplistic music and I was not enjoying it. And I said, what sort of music is this? And her answer was, either you adapt to this change or you will never know. That sank in. I went inside the room and I said, no, I'm going to adapt to this positive change, I'll say, because it gives lot of independence to musicians. You have direct contact with your audience. Then you have the freedom to compose your kind of music. You do not have to go and beg somebody else to like your music, and only then it will reach the audience. Lot of benefits, and in monetary benefits also. And so I shut myself inside a room and I started composing. I started writing the lyrics and I composed a tune then and there, came out with a new song. I came out from that room as a songwriter and composer. So that is how something which I did not know I could do, that day I adapted to this kind of change and learned something new about myself from somebody else. So self-knowledge that I was a songwriter and a composer too came from outside of me. So that is how we can say, yes, self-knowledge may come from outside sources. People outside may know you better, or maybe they don't know you better. They serve as an inspiration for you to tread on a new path. That is also possible. Here is another incident. I got really expensive specs made and I never wore them after getting them made, and they had everything in it, the blue light which blocks ultraviolet rays, then photochromatic and lot of things, the best lens, light lens, the best of frame, unbreakable and whatnot. I never wore them because I really somehow felt they were too big for my face. Then I got another set of specs made and I used to wear those rimless glasses for a long time. But then what happened? A few days ago, I was running after my kitten and I broke those from the side. So I had to go to the spec shop. I had an extra pair, but I was not wearing them quite often because I thought they were too big. So when I reached the shop, I was wearing the big ones, and so I kept them aside and started looking for not so expensive ones. Different frames and all. All of a sudden I realized the new customers that were entering the shop, 3 of them, were just studying my specs that I had kept on the table. And the salesman was explaining them something, and I was like, why my specs? So I went up to them. I said, these are my specs. I hope you don't take them as something that you have displayed. He said, no, it is okay. But then I said, okay, let me just hold them in my hands only. So I just saw some kind of black image on the lens. So I said, why this image? Did you do something? Did you clean them or something? This is not going. And the salesperson said, no. After some time, this will be clear on its own. Actually, we were just testing the lens and they said these are photochromatic. And so I was showing them through some kind of light and testing if they are photochromatic and all that. All of a sudden, I started valuing my big specs. Now I did not want any specs from there because anyways they were not suiting my face. And now I wore them. I thought I looked smarter and some kind of value was attached to these specs. And I made up my mind, well, they are not like everybody wears, what everybody wears, but they are so different. And what's wrong with being different? You look different and smart. They look good. And what quality? I could see all the benefits and all the features and everything beautiful about my specs. What changed? When others appreciated what I had, I started valuing my thing. So again, this self-knowledge came from an outside source. Have you noticed that you are nice to some people, but still they just try to pull you down, criticize you for everything, always trying to correct what wrongs you have done? These are the people somewhere they don't feel like they are adequate in themselves. They compete with you, and when they can't compete with you, they start judging you and pulling you down. So you have to keep them at bay to keep away negative energy. I was talking to a friend and he said he used to work very hard in this startup business somebody else owned, but he was never appreciated for his work. And then one day he just thought of quitting and starting his own thing. And the moment he left that startup, it actually within a month the startup closed. But there were other employees as well. But he was doing all the leadership work, the work of inspiring everybody to give their best, coming up with creative ideas. But nobody appreciated him while he was there. The moment he left, everything, the business collapsed and everything ended. So that means he was the prize. You have to understand your own worth. So you have to understand your own worth. While you think others are precious, others bring in energy, good energy, it is you who is inspiring so many. It is you who is filling them with this kind of positive energy to bring inside them more creativity and creating a wonderful environment. So value yourself, and this value we don't realize sometimes. This also we realize when others are nasty towards us, and then when you remove yourself from the negative situation, place, people, then you realize what kind of good energy you were bringing to that place. You realize your own value, but not before. They love and hate you. They love you and hate you. They love you because you inspire them, but they hate you because you throw a light on their laziness and the unauthentic life that they are, fake life that they are living, the fake emotions that they keep showing. There is no authenticity in what they say, what they do, and what they think. And when you throw a light on that, you are sincere to them, they are not. But you are loving them as if they are the best thing in your life. That makes them feel really fearful and afraid. What if you know They are not yours. And so they hate you for it. And then they start criticizing you, judging you, pulling you down. Another factor is they do not feel good about themselves. Then also they are nasty to others. But this knowledge that you are worthy, you are valuable also comes sometimes from others around you. I always thought I was not a pet person. I always thought I was so afraid of kittens, cats, dogs, all pets. And so one day my daughter said, let us bring a kitten to our place. Just because she would be happy, I said yes. Now a kitten comes into our house and she is a bundle of joy. And imagine that more than my daughter, it is I who is playing with her, I who is doing more of everything required to be done for the kitten, taking the best care, playing with her, taking her for a walk and giving her food right in time and any other thing that is required to keep our pet happy. And this is also something which I learned from my daughter. I am a pet person. This knowledge, this self-knowledge came from somebody else. I never knew I love pets. Okay, so we were sitting in the OPD for my family member who was getting treatment in the hospital, and while sitting outside in the OPD, I just started talking to few other patients and the attendants, and I was reading a lot of books, motivational books, self-help books, and whenever they said something negative going on in their life, they not feeling very good, I was like, I used to come up with a story that I had read in the books or my own personal experience which would inspire them. And the next day when I went and I was sitting in the same OPD, a mother comes to me and said, what magic did you do to my daughter? For the last so many months, she was so depressed, and you know what? After taking chemo, this girl has gone to work in the office early in the morning, ready with beautiful clothes on, and she was so happy. What did you do? I was like no, I just told a few stories, and she got inspired, she got motivated with what I said to her, but I was really happy. And then I said, if I can motivate them one-to-one, why not write a book which will reach many more people and inspire them all? And that is how I thought I'll go back home and I'll start writing a book. And now I have completed how many? 9 to 10 books in total. So this inspiration also came to me from outside. I never knew I could motivate anybody. I was inspirational when I spoke, and yes, I started this in a Universe Community YouTube channel as well. So this self-knowledge came from outside source. I did not know I had this kind of ability. And then even after I had written my books, 2 of them were inside my drawer. It was like they will never be published because wherever I sent, I never received a reply. And then one day my daughter comes to me, but this urge was there to write. I started writing the 3rd one because I got so many ideas. I had to write anyways, whether somebody read these books or not. That did not matter. Whether I sold any of these books or not, whether they would benefit me monetarily or not, I had to write because it came from, this urge to write came from within. I had so many ideas. And so these 2 books were there inside my drawer, and one day my younger daughter, Sangeet, came up to me and said, I know Amazon prints books. And I said, she is so young, she was in school. and you will send somewhere and at least they are with me. These are my books. I'm happy about them. She said, no, just let me do this. And then after about a month or so, she gifted me my own book. I could not believe my eyes when I saw the printed, published version of my book with a proper cover. It was such a wonderful feeling, unbelievable feeling, and I'm so thankful to her, my younger daughter, for helping me discover self-knowledge, this thing that I could write, publish, become an author. And after that, imagine that I have completed around 10 books. One of them was a bestseller on Amazon, Sanchita's Bollywood Notations Part 1. So this is how sometimes self-knowledge comes from sources outside of you. So now, a spiritual fact is that anything or anyone who triggers negative emotions, fear, any kind of negativity, anger inside of you, you have to look inside and see what needs to be healing. So they are your teachers. They come here to teach you what you think you know, but you actually have to know better, or you actually have to practice better. As they say, universe doesn't test us. This was beautiful. Universe doesn't test us. It just brings certain events, circumstances to throw light on something that you say you know well. So now let us see if you really know well. Do you practice that what you know well? And you will know whether you know well or not. Like you say, oh, I don't get angry. And here comes somebody who triggers anger within you. So now look inside. What is it that you have to heal inside and stay in peace? Not receive that negative energy, or what are the ways in which you can love from a distance and keep this kind of energy at bay. So again, self-knowledge. Whether you require healing somewhere, this also comes from outside source. Anything, anyone can give you this knowledge about you. So it is wonderful to see how self-knowledge, that is knowing about your own self, your true self, your authentic self, and yet you do not know, this knowledge is coming from somewhere else, somebody else. But still, let us be students throughout our lives. Let us learn from every event, everything, everyone we come across. Life is a big school. Keep learning. A child can teach you. It is said that when you become parents, it is not the time to start teaching to your child. Instead, it is the time when you have to start learning, because the child will see the world from new eyes, new perspective. Are you open to that new perspective, that childlike feeling? So there is always you can learn from your pets, from children, from senior citizens, from your own age group, and from life circumstances that come your way every day. Keep learning, and life is always beautiful, and have faith in the universe. I know you are brave and you have faith. You do not worry. Instead, you pray when things go tough. Keep going. See you again in our next video upload. Till then, keep mulling over this topic. Does self-knowledge come from somebody else? And now, if you have anything to share from your own life, when you learn something about yourself from outside source, Let me know in the comment section below. See you again. Namaste.